And our last ship for Wave 4 here is the Bioship Alpha from the species 8472. Really cool alien race that was introduced in Voyager. Has some cool stuff. They went on to give them a name in Star Trek Online. They call them the Undine or Undine or whatever it is. Not sure if it's canon since they didn't use it for the game. Anyway, we'll get in and take a look. There's our dial. It's a pretty maneuverable ship. Right up there with some of the other smaller ships. It's got a come-about maneuver, 4 forward. Not exceptionally fast, but definitely maneuverable. There's our species 8472 Bioship. And there's our maneuver chart. Like I said, it's not exceptionally fast, but it is pretty maneuverable, especially for the kind of firepower it can bring to bear. There's our Bioship Alpha, the named version. It's unique. 6 attack. 2 evade, 5 hull, 6 shield. Has 3 tech slots, which is insane. 2 weapon slots, 38 points. You have evasive, target lock, scan, and regenerate, which we'll talk about at the end of the video. Whenever you attack with your primary weapon, if you inflict at least 3 damage, you place an auxiliary power token besides the target ship. Pretty powerful ability there. Our generic species ship, same crazy values down. You lose 1 shield, you lose 1 of the weapon upgrades, but you keep those 3 tech upgrades, which is crazy, for 36 points. For our captain, we have the Bioship Alpha Pilot. He's unique. He's a 7, which is nice. 1 elite upgrade and 6 points. And during the round, during the planning phase, after all the other players have chosen their maneuvers, you can target a ship within range 1 of your ship and look at their chosen maneuver dial and then choose to change yours. The target ship's player cannot change their maneuver dial after you've looked at it. If you do this, you can't perform any normal actions this round. And it comes with one of our little reminder tokens. No actions for use of Bioship Alpha Pilot. Nice because you can look at somebody and see what they're going to do at the cost of an action. Not sure how often I would use it, but it definitely has its uses. We have our generic species 8472 captain. Since there's no crew slots, there are no crew upgrades, so we'll go right on to weapons. Our first weapon upgrade is Energy Blast. It's 6 points, 5 attack, range 2 to 3. Spend your target lock and disable this card to perform this attack. If it's fired from the species Bioship, add +2 to the attack, so it makes it a 7-die attack at range 2 to 3. With a 6-die main weapon, I'm not sure how often you're going to use this. Can see where it would have its uses, especially at long range, but it's another one of them. I would rather use the target lock to re-roll my 6 dice from my primary weapon than to fire 7 dice from a secondary. That's just me. Next up we have Biological Attack. 5 points. At the end of the activation phase, if your ship's base is touching an enemy ship base, you can discard this upgrade, disable your captain card, and inflict 1 critical to enemy ship's hull, even if it has active shields. That's pretty good. Then you disable 1 crew upgrade of your choice on the enemy ship. It can only be purchased for a species ship. Definitely has its uses. You gotta bump somebody to use it, but at the same time, a free crit. Next up, we have Energy Focusing Ship, which I can't wait to get some more Bioships to use this in combination with, but it'll work with anything according to the way the card's written. It's unique. 10 points. It's an attack of 6, 2 to 3 range. You discard this card to perform the attack. Target all friendly ships within range 1 of your ship that have not yet attacked this round. Target ships cannot make a normal attack this round. Instead, you add +2 dice to your attack roll for each targeted ship, and then they get a auxiliary power token on your ship and all the friendly ones that are in range. And it can only be purchased for a species ship. Kind of similar to Barrage of Fire. They give you reminder tokens. There's actually 3 reminder tokens there that your friendly ships do not get attacks for the round, that they contribute to the attack. Onto our tech upgrades, we have Extraordinary Immune Response, 5 points. When you defend, you may discard this card to roll 1 extra defense die for every damage card that's on your ship. So the more damage you take, the more defense you get. Can only be used on a species ship. Bioelectric interference, 6 points. As an action, you can discard this card to target all other ships within range 1 to 3 of your ship. Targeted ships must discard all tokens that are placed beside their ships except for auxiliary power tokens. A ship that discards a cloak token may immediately raise its shields. In addition, your ship cannot be target locked this round. Can only be purchased for species ships. So it prevents you from being target locked, can remove a cloak from another ship, but they do get to raise their shield, and basically pulls off any other tokens on ships. So as it chooses, it does say all other ships, so be careful. It also affects your friendly ships. And last we got Quantum Singularity, one of the most interesting cards in the pack. 6 points. As an action, you can discard this card to remove your ship from the play area, and discard all tokens beside your ship except for an auxiliary power token. During the end phase, you place your ship back into the play area. You cannot place your ship within range 1 to 3 of another ship. Upgrade can only be purchased for species ships. Basically lets you blink off the table for a turn. Drops target locks if somebody has them on you, or other happening tokens. Mutant Wave and a couple others come to mind. Interesting idea. You got to be careful that you can place your ship back on the table at the end. If the ships are enough of them on the table and they're spaced out good enough, or in an event like the Tholian Web where the map is getting smaller, you may not be able to put your ship back without being within range 1 to 3 of another ship. As for everything else we got here, we already went over. You got 3 no attack tokens to go on your friendly ships for focusing, energy focusing ship. There's a no action thing for your Romulan pilot. You've got evasive maneuver and scan, target lock AA, your auxiliary power and crit marker, 2 disable tokens, 6 shields, and an interesting mission this time around. Another one I didn't get a lot of chance to try because I was so excited over the Borg ones that came with the Voyager and the Sphere. But this one's called Scorpion. And it's an interesting setup. Lopsided game, so it's curious to see how it works out. The ship itself is probably one of the most detailed models available in the game so far, aside from DS9. Definitely a lot of detail. Same with all the others. A little bit of a wash would bring it out some more, so you could see a lot of the detail that's there, but even without it, it's a decent looking ship. By far the best painted one I think they've had so far. There we have our Bioship Alpha base. Forward firing arc only, which is kind of disappointing. And the species Bioship generic. One last little thing, the new ships are coming with these additional rules cards because it has some new rules that are different from the basic game. The only thing with this one is the regenerate icon on your action bar, and ships with the regenerate icon can perform a regenerate action. Ship that performs a regenerate action immediately repairs 1 damage to its hull, either critical or normal. You get to choose, and it can attack during the round that it does that. The limited fire arc of this ship, it's not that big of a deal. The Borg ships have this too, and I just don't see you using it with the 360-degree arc. But as long as there's nothing else to shoot at anyway, it's not going to hurt you anything. And it's a nice way to get rid of some of those criticals that may be hindering your movement or other things. All in all, it's a pretty good ship. Very maneuverable. Has a lot of firepower. A lot of cool abilities you can pull off. Priced to be used as a 2-ship team, although you really want to fly them more than that. If you're playing a bigger points game, that's where I see them excelling. Still 2 of these together, pretty mean. 1 of these and a couple support ships to make use of energy focusing I can see being very useful. Definitely something to keep an eye on. I think once we see a second ship, they're going to have a lot more options and be a lot more effective as a pure tech team. Definitely when we see more ships, the more that come out for each faction, the better they get. So keep an eye on them. Definitely worth checking out. It is a cool ship, has a lot of firepower, and it's pretty fun to use.